Hello, everyone. Here we are, and I just finished doing the webinar on Feng Shui for beginners. For those that want to understand how to integrate a lifestyle using Feng Shui that brings the elements of nature, the concept of yin and yang, right? And the compass direction to help you create a more harmonious and intentional space. Okay, intentional space. So I just finished doing a webinar for my students, and they all received it very well. Um, I am actually really excited to do it again. I always do recordings for like that. I can always revisit and see certain things that uh, can be more added to it, I would say, for people can feel like they're getting a good amount of support as they start in this endeavors. Okay. So for those that don't know, feng shui is a it's Oriental, rooted in China, right? But it's not limited to China, if that makes any sense. Okay. So there is a lot that comes from feng shui. It does utilize the elements of nature, the yin and yang, the yin and yang support on relationships and balance and bringing things in coexistence, right? So I know most of the time where people get stuck at and discouraged is usually in the directions part. You're right. Doing the directions, usually people are like, okay, I'm done. I can't do this. This is too much. But in all actuality, it's not that complicated at all. I do give you guidance on how to go about starting in reading directions and knowing which directions you like to work with first, right? You may feel like, okay, I'm pretty good, in my career. I'm pretty good with, how much I'm being seen and noticed, right? You may feel like, I'm having like a spiritual disconnection, and maybe you need to focus a little bit more on the north sector of your home. Maybe you are finding that you're having a hard time conceiving with children or ideas relating to such, right? And so you may feel like, oh, you know what, I probably should work more on this sector or give this sector a little bit of focus and energy. Okay, so each of the sectors have a corresponding color, shape, right? And particular elements that you should be emphasizing on for you to activate that sector. Okay. There are some sectors that may be overly stimulated, so you may need to reduce the energy in that particular area for you can feel a little bit more evenly balanced through the sectors in your home. Okay. So when I'm doing a reading for someone and finding their directions, I always go first, of course, with the front door. And like I share with my students today, your back is facing the main door, facing the main door. So that means you are facing out, right? And so there you want to get the degree and the sector that you're in. Are you in north? Are you in south? Are you in east? Are you in west? Right? Are you in southeast? Are you in northeast? Right? Those are things that you do want to be aware of because each of these sectors correspond to a particular element that can help bring harmony and balance in each of these parts of your home. Okay. So when I got introduced to feng shui, honestly, it really changed my perspective like 360 degrees, honestly. Um, I was like, wow, all these years, a lot of this stuff been happening and I did not know. So I really feel like I hit the jackpot. Okay. So I really prayed for this. So I know my ancestors pulled me in this direction and brought feng shui to me to really help me. One of the things that I did share with my students was the importance of understanding what feng shui isn't, right? Because if we're going to talk about it, we need to understand first what it's not. Okay. So feng shui is not about, it's not about, um, although it works a lot with symbols, it's not about symbolic things per se, right? Those are more rituals. So it's not relating to like a ritual. Or some people may feel like, oh, feng shui is about saging. And no, it's not about that neither. Okay. Feng shui is all about placement, all right? Intention, how you are um moving with the elements of nature, right? With the five elements, how are you integrating yin and yang, right? But feng shui is not even numerology. Some people also get confused with that and they think that feng shui is all about numbers and it's not, right? It does uses numbers and such, right? It's not even a religion. That's something that you have to really dissolve that from your brain and thinking that numerology is a religion. It's not a religion. Okay. And the shocker is that, oh, it belongs to China. And no, it originated in China, but it does not belong to China in the sense that it was only practiced with the elites. So not everyone got the opportunity to flourish with feng shui, right? They kept it on the hush, and only the high priestess and kings and leaderships were using it because it just helped them to stay in that position, and hold that power. So I think that's really important. So when we talk about the five elements, we are talking about wood. Okay, so what wood does? It fuels fire. Fire, what does that do? It makes earth, relating to ashes after everything is burned, right? Then earth supports metal, and metal holds water, and water nourish wood. So this is a known as a productive cycle. Okay. The constructive cycle will work reverse. Okay. Destructive cycle will work reverse, right? Um, and I think that's important also. Let me see. I did make a chart for my students. I don't necessarily have it here to show you guys, but let me see if I can find it. Hmm. I love this. As you can tell, right? So it's important for us to understand because sometimes, you may find that your southeast is overly active. And if the southeast is overly active, usually that can cause for you to go bankrupt, okay, foreclosure, okay, random bills coming, overwhelmingly bills. You may find yourself up to here with your credit card. So the southeast, if it's overly active, you can be spending more than you are bringing in. Okay, so you do want to be careful with that, and we want to kind of like bring that energy down. So there are remedies that you can do to lower that down. Now, it's also important to understand that the southeast does depend on the conditions of the other sectors. Yeah, so it does depend on how the south is going, how it's doing, how the southwest is going, how it's doing, west, northwest, north, northeast, east. So it does depend on how the other sectors are doing. Usually, if we can go down the line on how the other sectors are going, we can pinpoint what is causing the stagnation in your southeast. So a remedy is needed. Okay, so this is when individuals like myself come in. We got to get to what's happening there, right? So in Chinese medicine, in Chinese culture, Oriental culture, we don't just blame the the main part, right? The main sector. We don't just say, "Oh, it's just you have a heart condition. Let's give you these pills," right? That's what we do here in the Western side, right? But in Chinese medicine, there is always a correspondent, a relationship, a connection that we got to find out. We have to find out if it's not the mother energy, what's going on with the other components of the family that is all connected. All right. So remember what your liver is connected to, your heart is connected to. So the same thing applies with principles of what's happening in your home. Okay. So we need to understand sometimes when things are just too much, right? When it becomes like a lot of conflicting, we need to find ways to balance things out. Okay. So, for example, if too much water energy is happening, maybe your bathroom is flooding, maybe there's a clog in your toilet, in your sink, too much of this relates to how you're managing your emotions, and it's also dealing with a lot of like suppressed or unaddressed fears that you're dealing with, right? So what we need to understand is like what's happening and kind of get to the bottom of that. In this case, we will probably tap into how we can have more earth elements in your home, right? To kind of help, things kind of like, slow down, ease up, I call it, right? Because earth energy or earth elements is very nurturing, is very soothing, right? So it helps to kind of balance things out. Okay. So we can talk about that at another time. Let me see what else I want to talk about before I conclude. Okay. So feng shui is like doing acupuncture to your home. Okay. It is something that each and every one of our homes need in order for us to declog and allow chi energy to circulate. But first thing first, you must understand that you are the main vessel of your home. You are the chi of your home, right? And so that's why we encourage people to find a Tai Chi Qigong practice where you can open up and open open up all these meridians and these acupoints like we have in those images behind me to really allow energy to flow because chi needs to move. Okay, chi needs to move. So also your bed position is very important. I know a lot of couples that are going blow to blow, and then when I go into the home, their beds are against the wall. Okay, this is the absolute no, no, absolute no, no. As much you may be comfortable with your pain and suffering, you may be already used to it, but it's still not what energy needs and how energy wants to move, right? So you're going to be uncomfortable for a little bit until your body adjusts. Just like if I tell you to stand up straight with your spine, that's going to be very uncomfortable if you are used to slouching, okay? I'm sorry, I just saw a text message. Okay? So, okay. Okay. Perfect. I'm just responding back, guys. Ah, okay. All right. So about that's about it so far. If you guys want me to talk more about it, my husband and I are going to be coming more on this content and sharing what we do to create a harmonious space. Okay. So even like for me, I remember when this is when I first started to use feng shui or started to become more aware relating to feng shui, and I wanted to understand it more for things to just flow much better in my home. So I have went through like a major separation, and one side of my closet was of my the previous person I had before I got married, and they took all their stuff, and so I left it open. I left it open intentionally, like clear. I did not put my stuff in that space at all. I was like, no way. I'm gonna keep it completely clear, right? For whoever will come into my life. But I did not always did it with that intention, but then I did, because I started to get introduced to who's now my husband. Okay. And let's just say that it worked out, because this happens. Okay. I got married. All right. I got married. So there we go. Do, do, do. Put a ring on it. Right. And so when that happened, a shift happened. So also, I was in the process of selling my home. Right. And I was like, something is not moving right, and this home is trying to talk to me. And my people were telling me, was like, oh, maybe it's just not time. And I was like, okay, okay, I gotta move from these individuals that are thinking that I'm, um, faithfulness. I'm not faithfulness. I have faith, but I know faith without works is dead. So I'm working, move while I work, right? And so I ended up removing certain things in the house, and that's when the door Pandora box happened, and it was just like, oh, so many. We had we had bidding wars, and I was like, oh my god, yes, yes, yes. And we ended up getting the home for way more than we anticipated. Okay, so does feng shui work? Yes. Yes, it's time to get on it, friends. It's time to get on it. Okay, so then after that, well, also during that time, what I did, I changed the placement of my mattress, of my bed. Yeah, and I put my mattress towards my southeast. Yes, my southeast. And I didn't realize that for feminine, right? I then clicked in my brain, oh my God, all this time. Feminine is best for us to sleep on the southeast, south side. Okay, not only southeast but south side. Okay, it's best to sleep in that position. Okay. And so for men, it's best for them to sleep, right, on the opposite position, more on the north. So I found that my husband actually was doing thriving, sleeping in another room, in another space. So it's nothing bad or wrong if your spouse do not want to sleep with you. My spouse we did not always sleep together on the same bed. Sometimes I will be studying and working in one room, and he will be doing his thing in another room. But did that mean that we don't love each other? Of course not. We adore each other. We can't get enough of each other. In fact, shoot. I'm still like, honey, where are you? Right here? Oh, right there. Okay. Okay. So, so yeah. So all these things happen. And that's why I tell people, if you don't want to sleep with your husband in the same bed, it's fine. Eventually, as you get older, your body becomes more sensitive, so you can start feeling when there is like, no, this doesn't align with me, right? Versus feeling like, oh, I need to be in the same bed with my husband because that's just what husband and wife do. Incorrect. Incorrect. If no one told you that that was wrong, I'm gonna be here to tell you incorrect. Okay, you go according to what frequency and vibration. Because what could happen is that you can end up causing the other person to get ill. Okay, yes. Okay, maybe your husband is not in a healthy condition, sleeping in that way with you on that position, on in that part of your home, right? And maybe in another part of the home he feels more like power home. Yeah. There was another feng shui master that her father passed away, and later on she decided to do an assessment in her mom's home, and what she discovered there like shocked her. Her father was not meant to sleep in the same bed in the same position where her mother was. Cool. How amazing is that? But she didn't know, she didn't do that until after the fact, and she said unfortunately she wished she would have known, because she said she probably would have asked her dad to move. Like, dad, maybe you should start sleeping in this room more, you know? And then until we can find a healthy medium for the both of you guys. This is why most elderly, when they mature, they end up having separate beds. And we didn't even know. They end up having separate beds. Yes. Yes. Okay. So I want you guys to start tapping into these things. I'm going to be coming here on an energy forecast for 2026. We're going to be talking about how this is going to be entering into the year of the horse. Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up. The year of the horse. And the year of the horse, oh, this is going to be betting. You have to bet on yourself, my friends. That is what the year of the horse is all about. Betting on yourself. Are you ready? Are you ready to bet on yourself? Because that's what this year is. Okay. So it's going to be so many people that's going to come and tell you so many different things. I just want you to get ready and be open to knowing that that's going to happen, but keep your focus sharp and let's go. Okay, you have to bet on yourself. So I'm going to be coming live on this platform to talk about the year 2026. Right, we're going to talk about your personal year, how did this personal year and how that horse year and how that universal year is going to influence your personal year, how to get ready for it, what should you align to, and if it's possible, come with your directions of your home. For like that, I can give you some feng shui tips to align the frequency for your 2026 year of wins. Okay? So do not think that because you're not in a 5 year, you're not in a personal 1 year or in a personal 8 year, that you don't get wins. Everyone gets wins. Everyone gets wins. It's all about allow yourself, how you allow yourself to cultivate. Open up the umbrella. All right. So greetings to every one of you guys. I may be doing another live just to introduce this webinar I'm going to be doing again. But I'm super, 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 super excited. The feng shui workshop was a success. And yes, I'm super, super excited. But to come here live, it's even more exciting for me. All right. So I love you guys. Stay tuned. Master Fred and myself will be doing some Tai Chi, Qigong, some feng shui tips, some home decors. We're gonna be recommending. We just planning to take over YouTube. Holistically and consciously. That's what we want to do. Take over of Facebook, YouTube with conscious awareness. We love you guys and may you all win. Bye.